Today is the 1st of January 2025, and I don't think I've ever been more excited about a year that's about to happen as I am this year. The innovations that me and my team have been putting together over the last few months are really starting to come to fruition, and in this video I'm going to explain the 6 reasons why I am incredibly excited for our adventures this year. The first reason I can tell you about whilst I'm flying Maverick the Harris Hawk here for a bit of training and just a bit of exercise on a misty winter's day. And it does relate to the flying shows that we provide at lots of different game fairs, country shows, village fetes, that kind of thing. We've actually got a bit of a programme building up where every weekend we're going to be somewhere else in the UK. I really feel like we should be putting some sort of tour dates down, so at least you'll know when to come and see us if you wish to. But the announcement I'm making here really is about some new birds we'll be getting this year. We'll still be flying Harris's hawks like Maverick here in shows, and we'll have things like the barn owl and the eagle owl and things like that. But we want to get back to having a really great falcon in the shows. So one of our team members is looking at an aplomodo falcon to have in shows, and as you may have seen in previous videos, we have our eagles, our steppe eagles, and we're really hoping we can get at least one of them flying free in the shows. Just think about that, flying shows with music, comedy, volunteers coming in to help. Is he looking at me? Come on then. Different falcons swooping in, just a mixture of birds that we can take around the mobile displays. It's going to be absolutely so exciting. We're really looking forward to getting that going. And that's just one of the things we're going to be doing in 2025. You are going to be very interested to hear what else is going to come up in this video. Reason number 2 is that our customer reach has increased dramatically over the last few months, and we've already got a very busy January planned with more and more work coming in all the time. Now, we love doing the care home visits, the school visits, weddings, and all those types of visits because we get to take our stunning birds of prey to different places and delight lots of different people. The smiles it puts on the faces of residents in care homes, for example, the way that it actually enriches the lives of those with dementia. This is all really special work that we do, and we really love doing it. So I have a number of different team members who will go out, they're trained up to go out and do these presentations, do the handling, and even the flying, both indoor and outdoor as well. Indoors is, of course, easier. You don't need to worry about putting on transmitters and things, as long as the bird can definitely not get out of where you are, and it doesn't matter what the weather's doing. So a bit of hand-to-hand style flying is certainly very achievable. Of course, we do have lots of outdoor locations our birds are flying in as well, and of course that relates to the first reason, the flying shows that we're doing. So more flying show events and outdoor shows, and even more private bookings as well. It just seems to get better and better. I'd now like to show you our fancy new wheels. Okay, so it's no Porsche and it's French, but it's a van, it's brand new, and it's very suitable for the work we do. So for a long time I've had staff take their own vehicles out and I pay them mileage, but that can be £800 a week sometimes in mileage costs for me. So getting a van which is £400 a month, put my cheap fuel card in it, is a far more efficient way of doing it. So I've got another one of these on the way next week. So I now have a fleet of vans, and we can exchange it every 2 years. So we'll always have a very new vehicle on the road to transport our animals to the events. That's not why I'm excited though. Reason number 3 of why I'm excited about 2025 is because later this month, this January, I'll be launching another little service which we're calling Care for Animal Courier International. So a couple of times in the past I have done some animal courier work, and I've seen how popular it is, how much of a demand there is for it. And what we do have out there now are some services who offer a multi-drop service. What I'm offering here is a very strict A to B thing. We go pick up that bird of prey or that animal for the customer, we take it to them straight away. We're not doing multiple drops on the way, so we're putting the animal first. We're really thinking about having it in transit as least time as possible. And of course all the staff are going to be trained falconers and animal carers, so they know how to deal with the animal in transit, they know how to feed a young owl or hawk or falcon that's been hand reared, for example, if necessary, and things like that. So if you would like to use that service, all you have to do is get in touch, tell us where the animal's been picked up from, where it's going to. We'll arrange a suitable date and we'll get it all arranged and in place. So looking forward to getting that one going very, very soon. Now, why, you may be asking, have I set up a service like that? Well, essentially, we are looking at having as many different options as possible. A really sustainable business has got lots of different income streams, and we're already driving up and down the country and abroad with our own animals, so it's no different to what we're already doing. It's not like I'm setting up a fish and chip shop or opening a lawyer's branch or something. This is actually very much in the realm of what we're already doing, so it kind of makes sense to have a go at doing this. And as I say, it's not going to be some kind of full-time thing. It's another little sideline, but still, it's another thing we can be offering, and it's another thing that gets us out there, meeting new people and making more contacts. Oh, and I've come out from the cold out there where the van is into this nice warm studio here, which is my podcast studio. You may have already seen that I've launched the Falconers podcast, link in the description below, which is on its own separate channels, where me and Nick Carter-Barnes, who's on the team, just talk with other Falconers for anything between 45 minutes and an hour per episode about everything falconry. And it's very much aimed at the falconry fraternity, and that's why it's on its own separate channel. In fact, what I'll do here is give you a little clip, a sneak peek of episode 2, which will be coming out in just a few days' time on its own channel. This is where you've got multiple birds of prey, different species as well, flying around at the same time, essentially, which is normally like a nightmare situation. But of course, to the viewer, it looks quite random. It looks like, oh, these birds are just flying where they want, and then they just happen to come in when they're called. But what they're doing is, you said they're like position 5, you know, there was actually a structure, and those birds are doing the same thing every time.
But real art as much as science, to get them all to come in at the right order with the right lures, you know, all get them tuned into their lure in. Sorry, Steph, go on.
Yeah. There was one time where the eagle came in slightly too early. The Harris hawk had just caught the lure, and all of a sudden I heard all the lads shout, "The eagle's coming!" So I literally had my little falcon glove on, because it was only a male Harris hawk that I'd flown, just so, you know, like your little cuffed one, the one that just slides over your wrist. And this massive golden eagle is literally flying in feet first, because she would come in and you'd catch her on the glove. So she's like, "Oh, it's my turn, I'm coming in." I'm like, "You're not coming in because I haven't got my eagles."
That's terrifying. I mean, but golden eagles are big.
So kind of catch it and smile.
She was huge.
Yeah, big,
try not to
powerful.
wait for the crowd.
Wow.
So the Harris hawk's on the lure, so I literally jumped over the Harris hawk, with the Harris hawk was not dying at this point. I was protecting the Harris hawk at all costs. So I jumped over him and literally managed to work out where her chest was. So I managed to avoid her feet and stop her with my gloved hand, obviously, in the chest, and sort of like push her gently down to the ground, while one of the lads ran behind me, chucked me the eagle glove, and picked up the Harris hawk and ran back round with him.
I'm currently at a venue in the south of England, and that's significant because I'm actually based in North Yorkshire, which is in the north of England, and that's where for the last 15 years I've predominantly worked as a display falconer. Now, earlier last year I said I'm going to turn this business into a UK-wide business, and we started to market ourselves at care homes, schools, flying show events, etc., all around the UK. And what we found very quickly is we've got a very big response from the south of England, so Essex, Kent, London and around London. We realised, yes, we're going to have to set up different hubs, as we would call it, around the country. So these hubs would be a small bird of prey sort of setup where we can actually hire people, train them fully to run, and they will go out and service all the bookings from those areas, saving on travel time, travel costs and hotels and things like that. Less time for birds to be in boxes overnight, which happens quite a lot anyway when people are doing summer shows and things like that. So no different if we have a hotel stay and the bird's having a little sleep in its box, but still quite a good thing if that happens less often. And essentially, this announcement is all about the fact that this year we are already in talks with setting up some different hubs. In fact, I'm in talks at the moment with 2 or 3 different venues in the south already. We'll start with the south. Once that's covered, we can look at other areas of the UK, even Ireland, and maybe even abroad in the future. I have big ambitions, but certainly starting with the south of England, because we've got our northern hub, which can service all the northern England, and the southern hub will service all the southern England, and then the Midlands. We'll have to just choose who goes to where when it comes up. But what's really exciting, something I didn't expect to happen, is that some of the venues we're in talks with have actually said they'd love for us to have a little bit of a centre, a bird of prey centre, a mini one, as part of their attraction or their college, animal colleges and things like that. Now that means we can look at getting some very different birds in, some very unique birds of prey that I've otherwise not worked with before, or only briefly when I used to work at a centre many years ago. I've mentioned on this channel before how some birds are very suitable for mobile work, like barn owls, Harris's hawks, eagle owls, certain types of falcon. They're the birds you can actually take out to different flying show events with different locations, different distractions, and they, most of the time, will fly pretty well. There are certain other types of birds that don't do well in different locations, or they're not the sort of birds that like to be tethered to a perch for very long. Like, for example, a Cara Cara. There have been 2 occasions in my life when people have offered me a Cara Cara that was for sale. A beautifully tame, excellent condition Cara Cara, great for flying shows and things like that. But unfortunately, because they aren't a bird you can tether for very long, they actually need a lot more enrichment. They're not suitable for the sort of work I do. That's a great example of the sort of bird we could look at getting to live in a big aviary, come out of the aviary and do a flying display in a venue. So it would live there and it would fly there. Now, an aviary for a Cara Cara, which is a South American scavengery bird, would need to have different perches, swing perches, ramps, lots of enrichment in there to keep their brain active. And during the flying show, they would come out, run around, hop around, go through tunnels for bits of food, jump in and out of dustbins and things like that. And I've always said if we ever had a centre of some kind, we'd get some birds like that would become a real favourite of the visitors who go there. And there were other birds as well, like Strix genus owls, for example, like the great grey owl, the Asian brown wood owl. Beautiful birds, but quite a tricky customer. But again, if they're flying in the regular same venue, for example, if we had some aviaries set up here, the birds would be looking at this landscape all the time, the trees over here, the little ponds, etc. And they'd become very accustomed to this location. And if they're flying in that same location every single day they're flying and never anywhere else, they really do settle down and you can get some really good flying birds. So I'm really excited about some of the new and different birds we're going to have later this year. Keep an eye on the channel to see what we actually end up with. And reason number 6 brings me back here to our headquarters currently in North Yorkshire. So a few days ago I was doing a care home visit and I had Henrietta, one of our large owls, our eagle owl, walking around in the care home, hopping onto a table. I was giving a presentation to the residents. They all found it really fascinating. And on the way out I was talking to the receptionist. Now she was set a bit further back and she'd been watching the display from a little bit of a distance, and she said, "That big owl, that really big beautiful owl, what type of owl was it?" I said, "Oh, a European eagle owl." She then typed into Google European eagle owl, hit go, and what should pop up but my video that I produced called Focus on the Eurasian Eagle Owl, which I did last year. And that video has become one of our most popular videos actually. I just started watching it and she said, "That's you." I said, "Yes, it is." And actually, that owl is Henrietta on the screen, who has been here in your care home today. And I thought, that's really fascinating that Google is now showing some of my videos at the top of a feed when people search for certain key phrases or species or things they want to learn about. And that really is the 6th reason that I'm very excited about 2025. It's this very YouTube channel. So we've seen massive growth recently with the channel. It's what we call exponential growth, I guess. And it's really exciting to see all the comments coming in, the views and so on. And it is helping to create opportunities for myself and the team. So it's got lots of benefits for us to actually do the videos. also helps me with my education, keeping my sword sharpened, as it were, when it comes to falconry facts and knowledge and bird of prey information and so on. So from today onwards, we're going to be releasing a video every Wednesday and Sunday. We're going to be very consistent with it, and the UK release time will be 3 p.m. That should be then a sensible time in the morning if you're in America, and I realise that anywhere else around the world, it'll just pop up when it pops up. So we're going to be releasing 2 videos a week, and those videos will have all kinds of varied topics within Owl Adventures. There'll be videos that are facts about certain species. We'll have Owl Diary vlogs. We'll have Ryan's Roundup, where I sit and talk about a certain bird and tell you about what's been going on, and even some very new and very exciting documentary style videos where, for example, if we're hand rearing and training a new bird, we'll have when we get it to 3 or 4 months later and it's flying, so things that will film over time. And even the Southern Hub, we're going to do a documentary on that, so I'm filming as we go, showing the highs and lows, the struggle of that, and when that actually gets set up, we'll have the end result. So some very exciting content going to be created on this here channel. So if you haven't already subscribed, we'd love it if you did, and all the comments, that really helps, because we love to engage with the community of viewers we have here at Owl Adventures. Right, until the next video, bye for now.